Hi, I'm Rob King. Welcome to Homebrew number 34, and we're going back to the Turbo Ciders. It's been a while since I've been there, so I'm looking forward to this visit. The occasion this month is St George's Day, so a cider feels like a very British thing to do. Cheers, like and subscribe, check it all out. This is the Homebrew Masterplan. 15 brews aligned to 15 special events throughout the year, and we've arrived in April for St George's Day. Now in hindsight, I wish I'd have thought this through and gone for something more fiery, perhaps dragon based, but instead we have the warm spring evenings, and so going for something a little bit more sedate, it's a strawberry and lime turbo cider. Planning ahead. Steps 1 and 2, we're going to prepare a basic apple cider and ferment at room temperature. And then we're going to stabilise. We're going to add some potassium sorbate and potassium metasulfate, and this will stop fermentation. After which we can add in some fresh fruits for flavouring. Using fresh fruits without stabilisation would restart fermentation, but instead, stopping fermentation first, we're going to get all of those great flavours from the strawberry and lime. Finally, to carbonate, we're going to use a mini keg. We'll talk more about why later. For primary, we're going to need 4 litres of apple juice, 200 grams of brewing sugar, 2 tea bags, 5 grams of yeast SO4 in this instance, and finally 5 grams of yeast nutrient. The basic equipment is pretty straightforward. You're going to need a 5 litre fermenter along with an airlock and bung, a hydrometer and measuring cylinder if you're going to measure the gravity, also a funnel for transferring liquids, finally a saucepan to steep that tea to be able to get the tannin that you're going to need for this recipe. To begin, warm up 300 millilitres of apple juice. All the equipment has been sanitised, so add 4 litres of apple juice into the fermenter. As the apple juice starts to warm up, add in 200 milligrams of brewing sugar. Give it a mix. The brewing sugar mixes in very easily. As the liquid comes to a boil, you can take it off the heat and add in the 2 tea bags to steep. The tea bag steeped nicely for 30 minutes, so it's time to now add it to the fermenter. Adding to the fermenter though raised the temperature, so we are going to have to leave it for a little while before we add the yeast. We're going to monitor this till it comes down to about 20 degrees centigrade. The temperature has cooled and it's time to now take a gravity reading. And it's come out at 1065. This is a wonderful result. It's going to give us an ABV in the region of 8%. Now the yeast that we're going to use is the Safe Ale SO4. Now this is a really clean yeast. It's a simple yeast to use with a cider where we're not going to get a lot of flavours from the yeast, but we're going to get it from the fruits that we add. Now another thing worth noting about this is it was a very old packet of yeast. I'd had it in the fridge for quite a long time. This is important because I do think that is the reason why fermentation took a while to get going. Now I did also include 5 grams of yeast nutrient to help it along the way, but it just wasn't quite enough. Progress. Albeit, what's going on in the airlock? Day 3. It is day 5. This is day 10. And I confess, I thought I'd be into secondary by now. 2 in progress, loving the colour of both. Still got some action in the airlock here. Still going. Day 13, still going. Frankly, at this point, I have no idea what day it is. I'm going to collect my pension before this fermentation has finished. Well, we're starting to clear nicely. See some of that sediment at the bottom. This is day 22. If we were to add our fresh fruit directly into secondary, then fermentation would restart, generating more alcohol and removing some of those fruity flavours from the final product. So what we need to do first is stabilise, i.e. prevent the yeast from re-fermenting so we can add those lovely flavours in secondary. To do that, we need to stabilise. That requires adding potassium sorbate and potassium metasulfate, otherwise known as a Camden tablet. Before we get onto that though, we're going to need to transfer. The final result is lovely and clear. I am looking forward to this. And we managed to take quite a lot of that liquid with us and leaving quite a lot of lees behind. Let's take a look then at the final gravity. While this dried out tremendously, we ended up at 1.000, giving us an ABV of 8.5%. I am also adding 2 ml of glycerine. I'm a big fan of glycerine. It adds to a little bit of sweetness, but really helps with the mouthfeel. Now 2% is a really low dose. I could go up to 5%, and I may do in the future just to see what that comes out like. To stabilise then, we require half a teaspoon of potassium sorbate and a Camden tablet, otherwise known as potassium metasulfate. We now need to leave that for a couple of days to stabilise. I add a little CO2 from my mini-keg regulator. I'm not sure this is entirely necessary, but it does give it a little protection from the air. We are day 24 and it is time to add the fresh fruit. We are going to add 700 grams of previously frozen strawberries. Freezing them in advance removes any bacteria and ensures we don't transfer any unwanted infections into the final cider. Also, I've zested 2 limes and these can go in at the same time. If you are thinking of doing this next step, stop now. Do not do this. You end up with a very limey cider and it was just too much. I did not need to squeeze the limes in as well. The zest would have been fine. Warning, warning, danger Will Robinson, etc, etc. Having over-limed my cider, we can now give it a stir and put it away for a little while in the fridge to let all those wonderful flavours to permeate through the cider. Now technically I've stabilised so I don't need an airlock, and in fact I'm going to take it off in a minute when I put it in the fridge to give myself a bit more space. Cling film to the rescue, we are still day 24. Time to cool it all down. It's day 31. And the strawberries have already started to lose their colour. Hopefully those flavours are all in the cider. In this step we're going to transfer off the fruit, give it some time to clear and then move to a mini keg for carbonation. The colour looks pretty amazing, but we are going to put it to one side for a couple of weeks to see if it will clear a little more. The fruit looked fairly clear in the bucket, but now we've transferred out, there does seem to be some colour left in there. We could have left it a little longer. A little tester while it's still clearing. Lovely, absolutely lovely aroma. Definitely getting both the strawberry and the lime. That's a good sign. Obviously not carbonated, which I think will just bring it to life. Not highly alcoholic, so it doesn't give you an alcoholic hit, so very drinkable. I think cold and carbonated. This is looking promising. Get a lot more of the lime actually in the taste than you do the strawberry. More strawberry in aroma, definitely a lot of lime in the taste. That's interesting. Right, well, we're just going to leave it a little longer to clear in the fridge. Cheers. We can see day by day the colour starting to drift away as the cider starts to clear. We are keg carbonating for this one since we stabilised. Moving to Mini-Keg, we're using the set and wait method. We're going to set the pressure to 10 psi and then leave it for 10 days to carbonate. Only a tiny amount left in the demijohn and almost no sediment at all. Got a little bit more of that alcohol smell back. I'm getting the strawberries and maybe very faintly the lime. The other way around still on the taste. Definitely get that lime hit immediately, but smooth. Interesting. Definitely lime and strawberry cider. I check in on the Mini-Keg regularly. You don't want the gas running out and thinking it's carbonating when it's not. Now on the whole, these gas cylinders work pretty well, but I did know this was running low before we started this phase. It's good to test along the way just to decide if you need any adjustments. And I do think in hindsight I should have made a strawberry addition at this stage. We want to see if this is ready for bottling. It's nice and cold, nice bubbles. Still very limey, and actually carbonation isn't as high as you'd think. My get out of jail strawberry flavour drops. Smells better. Now that was too much, but that's good to know. Strange frothy head. I wonder if that's a bit of sediment in the bottom. I've sanitised the bottles ready, and today we're going to use the counter pressure bottle filler. The process that we follow here is first to fill the bottle with CO2 and then transfer the liquid from the keg, all under pressure and all under CO2. The process is repetitive and you'll see 3 shots of CO2 going into the bottle and the air being released out of the top. It then moves across to the beer line and loads the cider into each of the bottles independently. Counter pressure bottle filler. Bottled. Hi, it's St. George's Day, and this is a very peculiar celebration. After all, it's a Turkish soldier who went to fight a dragon in Libya to save an Egyptian princess and is an English patron saint. Go figure. But hey, we're here to try the cider. Now, carbonation didn't quite work out quite as well as I hoped. Despite carbonating in the keg, which was what I was hoping would generate the best result, we didn't quite get there. There's a little carbonation in there, but not too much. This is the extra lime version because I forgot to put some of the strawberry drops in some of the bottles, and I did think the lime was a little too strong. But we'll see, we'll start with that one and then we'll try one of the other bottles separately. Aroma though, all the way through this brew, the aroma has been wonderful, and it still is. It is a really enticing drink. It's been in the fridge, so it's time to taste. This is where it falls down a little, unfortunately. It is just too limey. I love a dash of lime, but this is just a little bit too much. However, the game's not over. We'll try one of the other bottles a little later on. We are here with bottle number 2. Once again, a little carbonation, but not quite enough. Strong strawberry aroma. It still remains a little bit too limey, unfortunately. I could probably have put a little bit more in. I was very cautious with those strawberry drops. It did just need a little bit more. In actual fact, the lesson learned here, of course, is I should have used less lime in the original recipe. However, I do like a bit of lime, and I'll go and find my strawberry drops. Now, these bad boys have saved me a few times, and probably going to save me once again. That's all we see there, just a little. Here we are. Delicious. Like and subscribe. Cheers everyone, and happy St. George's Day.
That's 5 down and 10 to go. The Homebrew Masterplan is rocking on nicely. The good news is I'm also catching up with the next 2 homebrews, both of which are in the fermenter. But next month it's something really special. May the 4th be with you as a Star Wars inspired Planet Pale Ale is on the way.